Hey guys, it's Hard Copy from No Hold Barred, and this is John from EJW. So, he's a cool guy. See that hat he's wearing?
Love the WWE hat.
Yeah, so No Holds Barred hasn't had a video and audio commentary or discussion since ever. So, this is the first time you actually see me, even though I do sound like a guy over audio for some reason. Anyways, we were just at the Royal Rumble 2 nights ago watching the pay-per-view at Hooters, and I personally thought that it was probably the best pay-per-view I've seen since Money in the Bank.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely great pay-per-view. Really quick, shameless plug on my part. Go to EJW on Facebook, and we have a full rundown of the Royal Rumble with myself and my friend Eric Harris doing a full commentary and rundown of the pay-per-view from that Hooters that we saw it at. So go check it out there if you want. Other than that, we're just going to talk about our thoughts on it, I guess.
Let's just start off with the first match, world title.
Oh, yeah.
Steel Cage Triple Threat, Big Show, Daniel Bryan, and Mark Henry.
It was decent, to say the least. I think it went really quick for a steel cage match. It was to me it was the length of time it was the length of time I would expect on like a normal SmackDown or Raw even.
Yeah.
It seemed like it could have been a little longer, but seeing Daniel Bryan hanging from Big Show's arm in order to have Big Show try to keep him from falling down was actually kind of awesome.
It was. I thought it gave a more realistic feel to it, rather than he's gonna climb up 5 times. That was probably like the 3rd time that he's done it, and
Well, I think he tried at least like 4 or 5 times, but every time he really did get caught right at the turnbuckle.
Yeah.
It wasn't he's going to climb up to the top and then stop and wait for the guy to get to him.
Yeah, exactly. But, especially the whole thing that they worked it out over on the top of the steel cage.
Yeah.
It sort of made it feel a little bit different. And also, to have a steel cage match that's not a main event is kind of strange, and especially since it started off with that. I thought it was a little weird.
Just start off the pay-per-view with the World Heavyweight match even.
Mm-hmm.
Great way to start the pay-per-view, great way to get us hyped for it. But even then, it led to a lower match being put in a more prime spot.
Yeah.
Which, it gets the mid-carders into a more prime position, but I don't know. It felt odd at first. I liked it. It just feels different.
Right.
Different can be good.
I agree. So whenever I see Mark Henry and Big Show together in a match, I get kind of nervous because it goes slow and that's just basically my big issue with it. But the way it ended was all right. The Divas Championship was the one that was after it. They all wore matching colors. But Tamina was kind of cool because she kind of did look like her dad. With the crazy hair and all that stuff, too. So
that was cool. I like seeing Beth Phoenix. I like seeing Natalya and Beth Phoenix actually being able to wrestle. I'm not liking what WWE is doing to Natalya. How she's just been brought so down that they're making her do fart jokes on SmackDown now. What is that?
I think it's after that huge stable pretty much got screwed up with the Hart Dynasty, I think it was called. And then also she had that feud with Michelle McCool and Layla, which was pretty neat, but that was so long ago. And
I mean, like the Divas of Doom, whatever they're calling themselves now, I really think they could have gone places. I just think that with Natalya and Beth Phoenix together as the Divas of Doom, yes, they're good. but then Natalya losing night after night after night on her own solo.
Yeah, it makes her look like a jobber.
It either makes her look like a jobber or it makes it look like Beth Phoenix is just carrying this tag team, and it's the Diva of Doom and Natalya.
Well, at the end of that match, you notice that Beth Phoenix was sort of like looking a little bit pissed off or something. I don't know, like what you would call it. And,
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, the Bella Twins, their outfits look horrible.
The Bella Twins are just horrible on their own.
But that just, it just looked really bad.
It was terrible.
Yeah, I don't know how you could screw up something like that. And it just doesn't make me take them seriously. I don't know. But, however, since Karma did come back in the Rumble, which I called. I called that.
Yes,
I was just saying.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, okay.
We'll get to that.
Makes me think that maybe because the last time that she's been there was her and the Bellas having a feud, so maybe they'll go back to it, and maybe it would give them a second chance to really shape up.
Yeah,
right.
You can see it. Yeah, I can really see Karma bringing some damage to the Divas division again. And really, I'm hoping for it. I'm waiting for it.
Yeah. We wait a long time for her to come back too. So
yeah, I'm actually wondering if they're gonna continue her story about her being afraid of being surrounded, like they were last time. I don't know if they're gonna bring that back or if they should 3-month rule it.
Yeah, I think they should 3-month rule it because when she had that promo about how she was pregnant and everything, I think it kind of killed that for a little while.
Yeah.
And she came back and everyone's like, oh, okay, she had the baby. So
actually, you know what? Just thinking about it now, they actually did 3-month rule it. She was in a Royal Rumble surrounded by people. How did I?
Yeah. Well, no, we don't know what that could have went to because it only lasted like 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
But needless to say, I still think the knockout competition on TNA is better than the Divas division. However,
it's the one thing TNA has over WWE is
this.
The knockouts.
All right, so the next match was Cena and Kane. Oh, before that was the promo with Zack Ryder. And make sure you get the new Zack Ryder neck brace. And he was bracing for a handicap match. I said that a dozen times already, but all right.
I'm okay with that because I braced for the impact. I'm sorry. That was terrible. Yeah. Well, anyway.
He went a long way from the last pay-per-view winning the U.S. title.
To this pay-per-view getting killed.
Right, but that only was probably, even if the Rumble and what was the last one? The last pay-per-view that we had was like a long time, usually longer than the normal duration. He actually went through a lot within the 6 to 5 months.
Oh, yeah.
Weeks.
He definitely did.
Yeah.
Winning the title, becoming huge on Raw, becoming one of the most see people on that show. Mm-hmm. And most likely he's the one carrying this Cena-Kane feud. And if it wasn't for him, being destroyed by Kane, that pretty much this feud would have died quick.
Really quick.
And if it wasn't for Zack Ryder being destroyed by Kane, there would be no reason for Cena to embrace the hate. So that being said, the match itself was
all right.
The match was all right.
The match,
after the match was every little internet fanboy's wet dream. Seeing John Cena just that hurt and just that injured over time was just...
I think Eve got into the middle of that too.
Eve got a little bit into the middle of that.
Go ahead. Tell him the storyline that you think is going... This is funny, we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, we were watching Monday Night Raw yesterday, and during the Monday Night Raw, Kane interrupted the Divas match. If you didn't know, if you did know, you know what I'm talking about. But when Kane was talking with Eve over the Titantron, the first thing that came to my mind when he's told Eve that it's all John Cena's fault and stuff is, oh God, Eve is going to become a bad guy. This is how John Cena is going to embrace the hate, is that Eve's going to force it out of him. Eve is going to start attacking Cena verbally and whatnot, saying it's all your fault, da-da-da. And then the second thing that came to my head was, oh God, please don't tell me they're going to change her name to Evil. Because WWE would do that. And then the third thought that came to my head was, oh God, Kane is the devil tempting Eve. And I cried a little inside.
And it goes back to that Shawn Michaels thing with McMahon.
Ah, yes, the McMahonism.
Yeah.
McMahonism and the no-show by God.
Yeah.
Which led me to believe for a while that Scott Hall was God.
True.
Scott Hall, God.
All right, so then there was a bonus match with Brodus Clay versus Drew McIntyre. Let me just point out, he had this hilarious idea that does make sense, that Drew McIntyre is going to win the Royal Rumble because it would be the perfect way to get out of that, slump that he was in.
What better way to end the storyline of having him lose week after week after week after week, and then out of nowhere win the Rumble to go on to become champion and just show us all up and just completely twist around our head. And no, they just made him lose to Brodus Clay.
Yeah, and it wasn't even 5 minutes or something like that?
It wasn't even 2 minutes. It was.
What?
I like Brodus Clay. I love the Funkasaurus angle. I think it's one of the most refreshing things to see.
I don't.
It's a great way to get that filler they need without people leaving. But that being said, I'm hating the Drew McIntyre beatdown. I don't know what he did backstage. I don't know what he said to anyone, but it is not worth him losing week after week after week to Santino, Brodus Clay. It's not worth it. You give him a great storyline in the video game, and then you kick his ass in the actual show.
Well, even just last year, he was having the Chosen One storyline. He was a big deal. And just with the comparison with that and Sheamus, Sheamus, he got King of the Ring, he got the WWE title fairly soon.
Oh, yeah.
Especially after he debuted a few months before. But there's a difference, though, because he is very famous in Ireland for his craft. I don't know about Drew McIntyre's history. So, but, he got a really big pop, Drew McIntyre, when he showed up. And that was just about a year ago, and I don't know. Well,
nope.
Well,
where'd that go?
Yeah, exactly.
The thing about Sheamus, though, the reason why Sheamus got big, not only was he big in Ireland, but because he became really quick friends with Triple H. He also is and was Triple H's workout partner. They would work out together backstage. They would hang out together backstage, and Triple H just fought for this guy. The producers did not like Sheamus, don't like Sheamus, and Triple H fought for him, and lo and behold, we got the Great White from Ireland, and he's won the Royal Rumble again, and we'll get more of that later, but I don't know, I'm behind Sheamus, I really am. He does back it up, but you got to be honest with it, he's there because of Triple H, but he backed it up, so I'm okay with it.
It's not all right, we're just going to get this guy because it worked out together. He really does have a good history.
Not like Sin Cara. And we'll talk about him. Yeah. Anyway, on to our next match.
All right. Actually, the Royal Rumble, I think, was the next one.
So, no, the next one was CM Punk.
Oh, yeah. God damn it. I can't believe I forgot. Probably because it wasn't that good. No, really. I mean,
Dolph Ziggler.
Ramen hair.
Dolph Ziggler is a good wrestler. He's a good superstar. He is not main event yet, and he needs to lose Vicky as soon as impossible. He is not going to progress anywhere until he loses Vicky. And yes, she's great for giving initial heat. She is great for getting that rookie to go that next level. But in order to get to the level beyond, you need to get rid of her.
Exactly. He needs to get back his old look. When he came out with like his hair cut and he was like brunette or something. I was like, oh, that's really neat because it gave him a sort of a different persona, like top card material. Then he went back to being blonde like the week after.
He had the top card persona, but I liked the hair. I don't mind the look. I just think he needs to go back to that persona. If he had the persona again, but with the look he has, it's fine because that look is him. When he came back with the brunette hair, the first thing I thought was that they fucked up Cody Rhodes' entrance music.
Or Evan Bourne got really jacked.
He looked like Cody Rhodes. He did not look like Dolph Ziggler at first until I think Vicky came out and went, oh, wait.
Yeah, then this is Dolph Ziggler.
Dolph.
Yeah. Anyways, that match was... I wasn't actually expecting that much anyways because Dolph Ziggler was in it and John Laryngitis was in it too.
I'm the Vice President of Talent Relations and such.
He also sounds like an old...
Sounds like an old man.
Yeah, old sailor or something. But anyways, and then he shows up with that hilarious shirt. Hey, here are my guns. Where are they?
A sleeveless referee shirt only works if you are one of two people. A, Mick Foley, because no shirt big enough to fit him with sleeves. And two, Stone Cold.
Or Vince McMahon.
Because there's no shirt that Stone Cold should ever wear that has sleeves. Other than like a suit. And Vince McMahon doesn't wear sleeves just because he has to remind us, yes, he actually is jacked.
Yeah. But it's been...
Laurinaitis. Laurinaitis has the build that I have. There's nothing there. And if you don't have good muscle, don't wear sleeveless.
Yeah, don't wear sleeves. It was like cut off
down a bit.
Whatever. So he was outside of the ring, and then there's another ref inside. And the match actually...
So much for him being the special referee.
Yeah, but the match was actually pretty interesting because there's a lot of counters and reversals.
Oh, yeah.
That's actually pretty good for Dolph Ziggler, but still, I think he needs to work on his craft some more.
A little bit.
And you could definitely see that Punk was probably struggling to make it go on and be as entertaining.
Punk carried that match. He really did, and I commend Punk. I love Punk.
Oh, we made this awesome joke. If you see the actual feedback at the commentary at the pay-per-view.
EJW.
Yeah, the ref goes down, and then John Laurinaitis was like there. So we're like, we need Charles Robinson.
If you don't know names of referees, Charles Robinson is the ref that has the blonde hair. He's the one who tends to ref the main event matches. And he was the referee during the WrestleMania match of Undertaker and Edge, who ran that entire length to the ring.
Yeah, that's
to get into the ring to recount when the other referees were out.
That was almost a full football field, mind you.
The joke on the internet and the joke that me and my friends like to put around is there's a video of it where they slowed down his run and put it to that old like dun 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 dun. We made a joke during the commentary of Royal Rumble that once that ref went out and once Laurinaitis wasn't doing his job, we made a joke that Charles Robinson was running to the ring from his house in Miami, just slow-mo, dun 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 dun, he's going to make it.
Yeah, and actually made it to
and lo and behold, he's the referee for the Royal Rumble.
So we actually did run from his house.
And that was fantastic. And now on to the Royal Rumble.
Okay, so, by the way, Punk.
Yeah, Punk won because Punk is awesome.
Oh, all right, and Laurinaitis is not entertaining.
Yeah.
Okay, so Royal Rumble. I want to do some highlights about. First of all, I'd like to congratulate Miz being the first one, and what was it like?
Lasting 33 minutes.
Yeah, the whole Rumble was overall around 55 minutes, so that's close to an hour. But he lasted
45 minutes as number one.
Yes.
In the Royal Rumble, and it was fantastic. Him and Cody Rhodes put on such a show.
Kofi Kingston
during that.
too.
Kofi and his handstand.
And his Riddler costume.
The Riddler costume was great.
He wore it on Monday, too, so that's really cool.
The highlight, the biggest highlight of the Royal Rumble, in my opinion, other than the special entrants, we'll talk about them, but the biggest highlight, in my opinion, was Santino.
Mick Foley.
Just everything Santino was a part of. In that match was the highlight.
He was with Ricardo Rodriguez.
When
oh my God, he showed up in this crappy when
Ricardo Rodriguez entered the Royal Rumble to Alberto Del Rio's music, coming out in an old Honda, broken down Honda, wearing Del Rio's outfit, an oversized trunks and scarf and everything, showing up, and then
the crowd loved it. They ate it alive.
Fighting with Santino in the biggest comedic stunt I've seen in a while. Doing a full roll and everything. Finally having him tossed out. And then Santino turning to face Mick Foley. Having them stand off. And then both of them reaching into their respective wrestling gear. Mick Foley taking out Sacco and Santino taking out the snake glove, and them just staring down at each other was absolutely fantastic.
That was an ultimate showdown.
A friend of mine actually posted a video with some music to that particular scene. I wish I could find a way on this particular podcast to show the video, but I don't know at the moment. But I'm going to post it, actually. I think my friend posted it on the EJW page. I'm going to post it myself, so it's on the main wall of the EJW page on Facebook. So just look for EJW on Facebook. You should be able to find it. And just look for that video. It's fantastic. I actually told them to do a different version of it because I kind of want a version of it with them doing the standoff, looking at each other and just hearing in the back, wow, wow, wow. That old Wild West theme would be great for that moment. Other than that, I think the surprise entrants in that Royal Rumble were great. We had, I think the first surprise was the Great Khali.
Yes.
Returning.
And that was after Jinder Mahal.
Jinder Mahal returns to be followed by Great Khali to take out Jinder Mahal. Then Great Khali was followed up by Hacksaw Jim Duggan, which I had called earlier in the night. I knew he was coming out. Then we had Road Dogg Jesse James.
All the commentators.
Even
Michael Cole. Michael Cole.
Michael Cole live.
So disturbing.
I just like the fact that no one realized the commentators weren't wearing pants the entire pay-per-view.
Oh, well, no, yeah.
But, all the commentators came in. Karma returned.
I called it.
That was called by her.
Yeah.
I called Hacksaw. She called Karma.
But Road Dogg, though, that was...
Road Dogg, no one knew.
Yeah, that was unexpected.
No one expected Road Dogg.
Huge pop for him.
Biggest pop out of that Royal Rumble.
He did well, too.
Trying to think, what they...
Mick Foley was also...
Mick Foley was in the Royal Rumble. We mentioned that.
Returned. Jericho came in 30th?
29th, actually.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah.
30th
was a mid-card guy. I can't remember who it was. So I thought that Wade Barrett or Jericho would win.
She thought Wade Barrett, Jericho. I thought Jericho, Drew McIntyre. I thought Jericho wanted Drew McIntyre.
And I was about to say, well, if Orton was going to get it.
Orton could have gotten it because it was his hometown. I was surprised he didn't.
But we got Sheamus. That thing
flipped on our head.
Yeah, that thing with him and Jericho at the end was actually really, really entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
And
I actually like the fact that the Sheamus thing was actually completely last minute. They had Jericho winning up until the last minute, changed it to Sheamus to actually mess with us, to mess with the fans who thought it was going to be Jericho. Mm-hmm. And sure, it a little bit negates Jericho's return, but
you got elimination.
It also really, really makes me happy to know that we can still be surprised by WWE. There's still things they can do that just mess with us every once in a while.
Yeah, like last night when Taker had returned.
Undertaker's return.
I was definitely not expecting. I was just watching and I was saying like, "Oh, there's Laurinaitis. Good luck in your future."
Ding.
So
I actually I did another EJW show for Raw last night, which is up on our EJW page, and
it could be like over here or here.
Somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere there.
But it's up on the EJW page, and the thing I actually said about Undertaker, we made a joke that Undertaker was going to come out and not challenge Triple H to a match, but he wanted to be the one, or the Undertaker returned as the new GM. And that he didn't return to challenge, but he returned as the new GM, and then he was actually there to announce to Laurinaitis that he's fired or whatnot. And I just wanted to see Undertaker just go up and pick up a mic and go up to Laurinaitis and go, "I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to wish you the best in all your future endeavors. Rest in peace." And just lay him out.
I wasn't expecting that, but
I wasn't expecting it. I just wanted it. That'd be fun.
Yeah, but he had a nice wig on.
That was a great wig.
I was thinking oh my god, did he grow his hair back?
For those of you who haven't seen pictures of him since he left, his hair is buzzed. It's gone. He buzzed his hair a while ago, and there's no way you can grow your hair to a foot long within the period of time he was gone.
So if you thought his hair looked weird, it was a wig. It was a wig.
I didn't think it looked weird. I actually think it looked fuller. There was
it was darker too.
There was a patch of the hair where it was darker, and it was actually Undertaker's hair looks wet. His hair looked
shiny,
clean,
and refined.
It was weird. To at which point now I'm questioning if he wrestles soon, will he have to wrestle with the hat on? Or
at least Kane has that mask, Yeah,
Kane has the mask to keep the hair on. Taker doesn't.
They probably just sort of trash that or something and just go with it. I was thinking he was going to come back as the outlaw, the biker guy. So.
Oh yeah, biker Taker.
Okay.
Keep rolling.
So,
rolling.
I just want to talk about. We just saw this link about Matt Hardy.
Matt Hardy has returned to the ring, and by return to the ring, I mean he's in a high school.
Yes. However, after seeing that and knowing he's been through rehab and then getting arrested and the whole process 5 times over, this is what he needs.
I think he needs to start from the beginning again and just go with it.
Because if you've ever seen the Twist of Fate biography, it's pretty interesting. I've seen it before. They do talk a long time about how he himself was a promoter. I'm not really sure how much Jeff contributed to it, but he gave most of the credit to his brother.
Well, yeah, I think what it was is that Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy actually had a YouTube show. That they were doing
the Hardy Show.
The Hardy Show. They were doing way before
crap.
WWE started, or before they were big, and that's how they promoted themselves. They did what Zack Ryder did, just not to the same level.
Right.
This is before the internet was the greatest place for meme and joke placement ever. So yeah, he got to start promoting himself there, but I think he needs to start promoting himself again. I think he needs to start building himself up rung by rung back up that ladder. I I think he, like Christian, needs to work on a new finishing move.
Oh.
Because it just doesn't look credible to me. I don't know if it looks credible to anyone else, but I don't know. It seems like his arm would hit the ground and it wouldn't really hurt the other person that much.
Well, for me, I think it's the speed that we're more used to. Because think of the RKO, fastest one. You can hit it from anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And TLC, that was a pay-per-view last time. How he just hit that on Wade Barrett at the
Off
end.
the table.
Yeah, it was just, it's unexpected. Well, sometimes it could be unexpected, but it's very fast. The spear is also a fast impact. Like, you see him set up for it, but... Yeah. And, the kill switch just takes so much time. Even the Walls of Jericho, for Christ's sake, is a little bit...
The Walls of Jericho is the... I say about the Walls of Jericho is the same thing as in, like, the sharpshooter. The way I make it look credible is that... the way that I make it look credible is that while they're setting it up, they're also bending the person's chest. So while the person's worrying more about the pain on their head and neck, so their neck doesn't snap, they're not worrying more about the setup that's going on. They also look like they're really straining against it. And I can see someone being able to put someone in that position even against strain. The kill switch, I don't see that being credible to anyone not being able to pull out of that. Once it is turned around, what is holding them there? There's nothing really holding the person to his shoulders at all. And it seems easier to slip out of than, like, anything.
And the Twist of Fate sort of...
The Twist of Fate, yet again, is one of those things where I can understand, like, having him held here and being okay, and
but
then when he turns and switches, there's enough of a hole there that I can lift my head up and that Twist of Fate is over. I don't...
It just needs a lot of touching up, but...
Either touch it up or change it up.
Yeah,
make it fast.
But going on with how that whole, Matt Hardy was on top of the world at one point and then just crashed and burned ridiculously. Yeah. He does look good now. He lost weight. I understand that he had a very complicated surgery. He had said that he had to take his intestines out of his body or something. Mm-hmm. So I'm pretty sure that has to, deal with him.
The weight issues.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there was a big time where Matt Hardy had an injury and a surgery that did not allow him to work out. He's back to being able to work out now, but he's had the bulge in WWE. But now
TNA too.
TNA a little bit.
That's right.
From what I saw from the video, he has really come a long way with losing weight. He looks really good now. His moves are hitting faster. His attacks are hitting faster, and he actually looked really good. Other than the Twist of Fate, a lot of the stuff he did looked really good. The Twist of Fate, I just don't see credible at the moment. Mm-hmm. If he can make it credible, that's fine, but that's just my thing.
This whole trend is, I was thinking about just what are our generation's wrestling tragedy stories. Scott Hall.
Yeah.
If you're watching this through No Holds Barred, we did talk about in the first episode that my co-host Justin, who's not here, said that he doesn't see him living in like the next 3 years by the way he was going. However, I did hear that he is back to promoting.
Yes.
It's something.
It's something. He's getting money. It's him doing something.
But how long is that going to last? We kind of been through this whole song and dance before, and it's just.
I don't know.
Scott Hall, I'm going to give you like 2 years. If you're still doing this, then I'll give you the credibility. It's like Jeff Hardy. Nothing pisses me off more than how he got his job handed back over to him after like the 5th time he's been suspended for some sort of drug policy violation. And that was different too because he was also selling. He was probably selling before, but this time he actually got caught. Mm-hmm. And actually had to be in prison for like some amount of time. And then he did this whole promo on TNA saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Could you please forgive me?" And it's like, no. I've seen this happen 3 or 4 times before.
It's just sad. It really
and
is.
They're using it for like main event material.
As WWE Creative stated on their Twitter, yes, Matt Hardy in the main event at TNA. Were we ever that naive? If you don't know WWE Creative on Twitter, search them like now. WWE.com, or no, Twitter.com, WWE_creative. What it is the actual creative writing team posting to Twitter their thoughts, their backstage musings, and all of it is going off script. All of it is making fun of themselves. A good example was Raw last night. They had a quote. Yes, Undertaker is back, and the fans wig out. The Undertaker sure did.
There's another one for TLC before Zack Ryder had the first match for the U.S. title against Dolph Ziggler. If you do not tune in tonight, you hate America and freedom. So
pretty much.
Yeah, they have a hilarious stream.
They actually had
during the pay-per-view events.
Oh yeah, they have hilarious commentary during the pay-per-view. They have a hilarious commentary during the Raw and SmackDown. They actually have a new one up right now talking about Kane and his Embrace the Hate storyline. It's, hey kids, it's the huggable Kane stuffed animal. Now you can embrace the hate as you snuggle with a fake burn victim. #merch. Just that kind of stuff. It's great. And I would really go on Twitter. If you don't have a Twitter, you can still see it. You can still read it. If you have a Twitter, follow them. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
They're hilarious. It's great.
Okay, so I want to get to the ending of our show. Yeah, the ending of our show where we do our top 5. So,
number 5.
For me.
For her.
Would probably be Alex Shelley on TNA. Usually with these guys, they don't talk so much about TNA, but hey. But we try to, as in No Holds Barred, go back and forth between them. So Alex Shelley has returned last week. Last week being 2 Thursdays ago. I forget today's Tuesday. I didn't watch last week's TNA yet, but he did come back. He did promise that he was going to come back with Chris Sabin so they could do the Motor City Machine Guns tag team again. But he just went ahead and challenged Austin Aries for the X Division title, and he's going to be going for a contendership for that if that hasn't already happened.
Nice.
Number 5.
Number 5 for me, in terms of WWE, the number 5 top thing for me would have to be the Royal Rumble at this point. That was great, just some great comedy in that, great just moments, timing, everything. Great swerve at the end of that, and I just loved it.
Number 4.
Number 4.
I'm going to say the Karma entrance.
Oh, yeah.
It's just, I always go through phases where, the WWE division's going to be all right now, and then nothing happens. And then, and it just goes back and forth between that, but, I was having a Yahoo's answer thing saying, "What did you think about the Royal Rumble?" I thought that was good, and, Karma, all this stuff. This one guy goes, "Karma didn't deserve that return. She didn't deserve that spot." And I was like,
Heath Slater was in the Royal Rumble.
I was like,
Heath
you must
Slater
be
doesn't...
new here. Have you seen her on TNA? She went by Awesome Kong, and she was great. She had an amazing match with Kurt Angle, and he admitted that she really did, beat the crap out of him at some points because, she uses, her whole body. It's fantastic how she knows how her body works, and she finds a sort of technical / powerhouse way to wrestle. So I was very excited, and our Divas division is saved.
Yay! Yay! Number 4. I'm gonna have to say my number 4 yet again. I don't watch much TNA, so it's all gonna be WWE stuff. I'm gonna say my number 4 is just this push that Santino has seemed to be getting. Just week after week, Santino being on TV, just being in better and better and more funny moments with him. Him getting 2 wins over Drew McIntyre. Him getting some great moments with Teddy Long and stuff, and then it's to the point now where I'm really considering getting a snake glove for pay-per-views.
Yes. And just to sort of go off on that, it's kind of funny because it's sort of like a Trojan horse. Like, you don't notice it. You don't notice his push until you actually see how many times he's been on TV.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, number 3.
Number
3. This is kind of tough. I'm going to go with Taker at this point because he has returned. I have no idea this is going to be one of those. He's going to return for a week, and then he's going to wait until after Elimination Chamber to actually, make a statement. But I really think that this has to be a WrestleMania match with him that's going to be better, so that's why I'm going to keep my eyes on him. Because the way that although he didn't say anything, he went up to Triple H and he looks over WrestleMania sign, looks back at him. That happened last year. That happened before then, too. I don't know how long ago, but I don't want to see it 3 times.
WrestleMania 17.
Yeah, I don't want to see it 3 times, so... I'm really watching him, though, because he came back at a really weird point. I was not expecting it or whatever, so do good.
Well, yeah, he came back actually at the right... It was weird, but I think it was the right moment, because if he was going to be in WrestleMania, he needs to get on the road to WrestleMania now, and the road starts now. Mm-hmm. And if he didn't show up now, and he showed up halfway down the thing, there would not be enough build-up to anything that he does.
I agree.
I mean,
it was just kind of awkward.
It was a little awkward, but I'm a huge Taker fan. I am not the biggest Taker fan, but I'm a huge Taker fan. He's my favorite wrestler, and had no idea he was going to return. That is actually my number 3 as well, is the return of Undertaker. That was absolutely fantastic. It was one of those things where there was no build-up to it. There was no fake promos. There was no... ain't no grave gonna hold my body down. I
do like that theme, though.
I like the theme.
But you need something that was...
Yeah.
And
actually,
you know what?
Speaking of his theme, the TV I use to watch Raw has the caption ability on it. And I was reading the captions while I was listening to the song, and the captions say, "Ain't no way to hold my buddy down." Like, as in, like, she's my buddy. And it really changed the entire aspect of Undertaker for me for a few weeks.
Oh my god, that's great.
But I loved his coat. I liked
his
the
wig.
Studs on side, the wig.
But you know what? You could also tell how unplanned that was by the audience, because normally when there's a huge promo code, it's like the biggest pop in the world. But no one was actually cheering that much because they're like, "Is this really happening?" I think no, this can't be. It is. It's him. So, yeah. Okay.
Number two.
I am going to go with Wade Barrett because, well, this is the thing. Although I do love him a lot, and watching him grow from NXT was really it was pleasurable, even though that's a kind of a corny word to use, because you see them at this point where, all right, they got to find a character that works for them, and then he has Jericho as his manager, and then Nexus showed up, and that was a huge fucking thing when that happened.
Nexus
it was
huge.
Like, yeah, it was enormous, and then they had the whole storyline with Cena joining the Nexus and all that stuff, and then eventually he got kicked out.
Cena, the Tam Punt, the Orton punts back all the way to Florida, FCW. It was great.
FCW.
Wade Barrett has really come a long way. I like his new theme song. I think he really needed it, because him coming out to the core music just seems awkward.
The core was also a really awkward thing. And that was another thing I was about to say. Ezekiel Jackson returned too.
Oh yes.
So yeah, and he had hair.
Creepy.
So okay.
My number 2 is going to have to be the return of Jericho. The recent return of Jericho, his Jarrett trolling, which is now an official thing. It's being used, the Jarrett troll. For those of you who know troll and rage faces, Jericho coming out that first week, being all happy, and then just going, dropping like leaving. That second week coming out and just I'm all alone, cry and leave. The third week being in that tag match, getting finally tagged in, running all around and just going, no, not really, and leaving. Just doing every one of the rage faces he could. Now he's he lost the Royal Rumble, of course. He then attacked Punk last week, not saying anything to him yet again, not talking, attacking Punk and pretty much just doing. I think the rage guy, just that anger in him again, seeing him finally reveal himself as the heel he is. And just hopefully he's not going to come back as the "you all hypocrites." Hopefully he'll keep his funny side to him. I think that's how he can plan this out best.
Keep his
by trolling, by trolling things. But I want that coat. I have a thing for coats. For
Do you want the
nice
Undertaker
coats.
coat with the LEDs? Would that be too much or?
You go with
Number
your number
one.
one.
All right.
I'm gonna be back.
I am kind of split on Jericho, The Miz, and Sheamus. I really can't. All right. Well, here's the thing. All the reasons for Jericho. The Miz, his storylines are kind of funny. They go in a pattern where it starts off, but with slow momentum, and you don't really suspect so much about it, and then all of a sudden, like, it hits the wall. Like, it's like, oh, when the hell did this happen? But it's been building up for a while. He's got a thing with R-Truth going on. The Royal Rumble is pretty funny because he shows up, then A-Rye, then R-Truth. So it was kind of funny there. So I think there's going to be some great expectations coming up for him this season into probably the summer. He's got a wide gap. And hopefully by WrestleMania he will get a really good match started. And Sheamus, for obvious reasons, he's got the contendership. Who was it going to be? Bryan Danielson, the most creative name on earth, or CM Punk. So,
oh yeah,
there you go.
I actually I had a mock storyline in my head that I thought up of for the coming WrestleMania. This isn't my number one, but this is just a mock story I had with Sheamus. Is what if Jericho were to fight CM Punk at WrestleMania, or even if he fights Punk earlier, loses, and then Punk fights someone else at WrestleMania? If Jericho was in the Money in the Bank, was to win Money in the Bank, was to have Sheamus fight Punk at WrestleMania, Sheamus to win, and then have Jericho fight Sheamus right afterward after cashing in the Money in the Bank and having a repeat of Royal Rumble, or at least the battle between the two of them, would be really interesting.
I had a similar theory for Daniel Bryan, too, if he were to lose the title. But they got rid of Money in the Bank at WrestleMania. I think that's kind of stupid, just as a side note, because that's a really good way to open a WrestleMania pay-per-view.
Oh, yeah. Definitely a good way. Definitely, it helped Edge out to win Money in the Bank at the beginning and then cash in at the end of it to become champion at one point.
He's the ultimate opportunist. By the way, he's going to be inducted.
Yep.
Edge so in the Hall of Fame. We know he is the Four Horsemen and Mike Tyson. So far.
There's one other that's been mentioned, not on the actual show on the internet, but until he's mentioned on the show, I'm not going to say much. But my number one will have to go to a tie. It's going to be a tie between the pushes of two of my new favorite wrestlers. The push of Zack Ryder, as far as he got with that push, and now carrying this storyline with Cena. I love the kid. I love his entrance. I love his theme. I love his just moves. I love everything about him. I love all of it, and I really think he could go far if WWE gives him the chance. And his self-promotion was great. And the other half note on that is going to have to go to R-Truth. he has been entertaining me so much these
that
past
Pinocchio
few weeks.
joke was so great.
The R-Truth at Disneyland, the quack,
Yeah.
the Ricardo Rodriguez, sing me a song. The new shirt with little Jimmy on the front of it, and on the back it says little Jimmy says you gonna get God on the back. Just everything about R-Truth's character I'm loving.
He's never off.
He has not been off.
Even as
once.
when he was a heel, he was still entertaining. So
I'm loving everything about that. I really think WWE is doing a great thing with R-Truth, was doing a great thing with Zack Ryder. I'm gonna have to see where this storyline goes now, if they're going to continue his push once his injury is healed.
And once The Rock and the Cena get their spotlight finally.
Yeah. I have to admit, I'm a Cena fan. I like John Cena. I think he's actually really funny.
Yeah.
That being said, I hate The Rock.
Oh.
Everyone can hate me now. I started watching wrestling around the time right before the transition to Attitude Era. So I got used to like The Undertaker, Hulk Hogan, all the really big gimmicks. Then I found WCW, which had the big gimmicks. Sting, it had DDP, it had Bret Hart when it went over, and I really started to like WCW. I really liked those big gimmicks. I loved that. They was superheroes to me. And then after watching WCW for a while, my friend told me, WWE is so much better. And I turned to it, and all I saw was biker, 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 biker. Everyone was a biker. And Undertaker was a biker. And the only... I watched it a few times, and I didn't really get into it until I saw the Booker T Stone Cold brawl in a supermarket.
Oh, in the supermarket, yeah.
And I loved Booker T from WCW. I loved Stone Cold when he picks up a pizza pie, slams it into Booker T's face, and sings That's Amore. I'm Sicilian. Anyone who references That's Amore is the greatest man in my book, and he became one of my favorite wrestlers. Now, that being said, his antithesis was The Rock. I liked Stone Cold, thus I hated The Rock. And when I stopped watching wrestling, I still hated The Rock. I never got to a point where I started liking him. So when he returned, when like Umaga was around and he returned to say that Umaga meant shriveled monkey penis, he seemed like he was phoned in. It seemed like his jokes were scripted. It seemed like his jokes were just phoned in, and I couldn't get into it. And then when he returned at WrestleMania and he fights John Cena, I'm a Cena fan. I agree. Cena's been there for 7 years and has been there day after day after day after day after day.
And all the promotion he does on the side.
All the promotion, everything he's done for WWE, he deserves the spot he's in. He is the face of the WWE. Not because they're shoving him in it, but because he's promoting himself and doing it right. The Rock was in The Tooth Fairy and Journey to the Center of the Earth 2. Journey to the Center of the Earth 1 was terrible. Now there's a sequel. Oh God. He's in a movie with Vanessa Hudgens. Needless to say, I don't like The Rock. I don't hate the guy. I respect him so much. He is a good actor when he's in good movies. He is a good wrestler. I just don't like his character. He's the John Cena superhero with the ego of Vince McMahon, and it just hits me the wrong way. So I don't know. I'm on Cena's side on this a little bit. I'm liking the embrace the hate thing with Kane. I will admit I liked the fact that Cena actually sold the injuries at Royal Rumble. But I really I want Cena to win this. I do want Cena to win this. I want Cena to make this generation look good. As Austin passed the torch down, as Hogan passed the torch over, as Austin passed the torch, I think it's time for that torch to finally be handed to Cena. Or not handed, I want Cena to earn it. He's earned that torch. He's earned his spot, and he's earned the ability to be the face of an era. And I think it needs to be shown that he deserves this. And to show that maybe if The Rock decided to return fully, maybe I might like him more. And maybe if he didn't just fight via satellite or via last minute of a Survivor Series. Yeah, he was in the Survivor Series, but he was in it for half a minute. Yeah, he got the last pin, whoop-de-doo. He didn't fight most of the match. Ooh. But that's my opinion. I know a lot of people hate me for liking Cena.
I think it's justified.
I don't know.
So, hopefully we'll get together again at some point. And this is hard copy from No Holds Barred.
This is John from EJW. Check my webpage on Facebook, EJW. Type it into the search. You should be able to find it.
You can find us on YouTube. And somebody call my mom.
My bad.